Brace yourself. Get it passed up anytime now. Collect yourself. Things will never be the same in a sad, sad world.
Hello, my name's Mr. Childers, and I am thrilled to welcome you to the course Honors Humanities 1 to 1500 and to our YouTube playlist. In this video, we're going to cover the same things that we cover in school on the first day of class. This video is specifically intended for students who are part of my humanities class, but who are not able to be with us on the first day of class. It's July 22nd, I think, as I make this video. I haven't seen my roster yet, so I don't know who's going to be with us in humanities class. But that's the intended audience. So if you're part of my humanities class and you're going to be with us on the first day, or let's say it's a couple weeks in the future and you were with us on the first day, well, then you're under absolutely no obligation to watch this video. You're welcome to, but you can hit stop and go about your business and right now. Those of you who aren't able to be with us on the first day, please stick around. And the first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to take about 3 minutes to share with you an introductory trailer to this class that I put together a couple years ago. Give you a little taste for what you're in for.
You are part of a 14 billion year long story. The universe was already nearly 10 billion years old when the Earth was formed. About 3.7 billion years ago, on a tiny speck of dust in a far corner of the universe, life evolved. It took over 3 billion more years before modern humans, Homo sapiens, began our journey of awe and wonder, of love and hate, of peace and war, of storytelling and singing, of creating and destroying, of life and death. Thousands of generations of humans have come before us, and for them, like us, life did not come with a user's manual. They, like us, were invited to dive into the greatest mystery of all. What's the point? Knowing that we each live just a few decades on a tiny speck of dust in a lonely corner of the cosmos can make us feel small. Most people who have ever joined us on this journey are already dead and forgotten. It can make us wonder if we really matter at all. And there's the magic of being human. In all the known universe, there is no other creature that even thinks to ask the question of meaning. And that's why we matter. We who are made of the same stuff as all the rest of the universe are called to be the consciousness and the conscience of that universe. What are we doing in this class? What are the humanities? The humanities are an exploration and a celebration of what it means to be human. We'll look at the ideas that built the world we live in. Some of them are beautiful and brilliant. Some of them are ugly and hurtful. We'll look at the things that people value, the relationships that they build. We'll look at the stories they tell, the songs they sing, the gods they worship. We'll look at how they answered big questions. What is the meaning of life? How should we live? What are good and evil and who decides? How should we treat others? Why do people hate and kill? Am I just the intersection of my race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, and body type? Or is there a unique individual me? That 15 billion year story did have a point, and that point is you. It all led to you. And I, for one, am honored to be with you on this journey as we explore our common humanity together.
You can tell already that I am anything but a professional videographer or YouTuber, but over the past 4 school years since the outset of the COVID pandemic, 15 days to flatten the curve, y'all, maybe the only good thing that's come out of it has been a growing appreciation for the value of things like this, of having a permanent videotaped resources available to help students who are not able to be present in the class or who would like to go back and review things that we covered in the class. So this is actually the 4th year that I've had a YouTube playlist for this course, this humanities course. It's also the 4th year that I've taught this class. I created this class back in 2019 for the 2019-20 school year, and I frequently refer to this class as my baby, as this kind of baby. Actually, I look pregnant anyway, so it's looks like humanities class about to have a baby brother or sister. But this class is my creation, it's my passion, it's my joy, and I'm happy that you're here with me. I don't want to take up too much of your time in this introductory video. Let me share with you a little bit about who you're stuck dealing with. So I'm Mr. Jeff Childers. You do want to make a note of my email address if you need to reach me. You can also send me a message by Schoology, or you can email me at jchilders1@fourcornerscharter.org. I check both email and Schoology frequently every day, before, during, and after school, but I don't use them as an instant messenger service. So it's not realistic to expect that you'll get an instant response, that I'll see what you sent as soon as you sent it, but I will see it as soon as possible, and I do take seriously my responsibility to stay in communication with you. So who am I? I'm a 42-year-old native of Joliet, Illinois. That's a blue-collar town about 30 miles south of Chicago. I'm a 1997 graduate of Minooka High School in Illinois. That's right, I come not only from another century, but from an entirely other millennium, and yet somehow I have not yet succumbed to the ravages of age, and I'm still alive and kicking and with you here. I hold a Bachelor of Arts degree in philosophy from Conception Seminary College in Missouri, and a Master of Arts degree in theology from St. Meinrad Seminary in Indiana. I've been with Four Corners since 2018, and in that time I've taught geography, world history, U.S. government, this course, humanities, and classical studies. Classical studies is an ACE or Cambridge college level course. There's a 1-year option and a 2-year option. So I teach both Classical Studies 1 and Classical Studies 2. When you're emailing me, jchilders1, you always want to remember that number 1 in my email address. Otherwise, you'll reach Associate Principal Joe Childers, and who would want to accidentally email this guy? If you're not aware, yes, my younger brother is the Associate Principal. My little brother is my boss, so that is my life. That's how you know you've been successful in this world. When the kid used to pick on and kick down the stairs, he is now telling you what to do and yelling at you when you don't do it, and deciding whether or not you get paid. So that's the daily joy of my existence. Let's talk about the class a bit. In this class, we're going to explore ideas. The ideas that built our world. Truth and falsehood. Good and evil. Love and hate. Faith and reason. War and peace. Fantasy and reality. Because the humanities are, you see that word human buried right in the middle of humanities. The humanities are an exploration and a celebration of what it means to be human. So that's what the course is about. The course is about you and me. And the course is about the ideas that drive the building of the world that we have inherited. As the course unfolds, we'll meet ideas that some ideas make perfect sense and some ideas will seem very, very strange. All of them have been influential. It is not the goal of this class to tell you what to think. Far from it. In fact, if anything, the goal of this class is to support your independence. You will be given more freedom and more independence in this course than you will see again, I'm almost certain, than you will see again in any class before you get to college. This course is designed to help you clarify and build your own thoughts and to put those thoughts in conversation with the great thinkers of world history. Before we do that, though, we got to talk some of the details, some of the boring stuff. That might be you right now thinking it all sounds like boring stuff. But here are some of the basics you've got to know to survive in this class. First off, in this class we're governed by a document called the Classroom Covenant. It's an agreement that you and I will make about how we will relate to each other and conduct ourselves as this class unfolds. And that's something we're going to get into detail during the second session, the second day of class. Before we do that, just to get us through the first day, here are a few simple basics. In this class, I do make quite a bit of use of Schoology. If you're new to Four Corners, you may also be new to Schoology, in which case, just when you make your way on campus, come talk to me, and I'll walk you through how it works and what we do with it. If you're a returning student at Four Corners, then by now you know Schoology. So you want to check it often, and for my class, it's not enough just to check whatever happens to go through your feed. I do expect you to go to our class page every day before the start of class, and here's what you're going to look for. You're going to look for something called the main daily post. How will you know it's the main daily post? Well, we're looking at last year's right now, but every day before school I'll make a post that begins, "This is the main daily post for Monday, June 4th, 1486, or whatever the date is. And that will have information. Again, this is from last year, so this particular information is not necessary for you to know. But it will have information about what we're going to do that day in class, about what assignments are coming due, announcements, things that you need to know. And you will be responsible for anything that is contained in that post. It's not my habit to surprise and throw things in the post and then not mention them in class, but I am human. I do forget things, so anything that comes up in the main daily post is something that you will be held responsible for having read and having responded to in whatever way is appropriate. If you miss school, you want to check Schoology again in the late afternoon or early evening. If we have covered new material in class, then you'll find a video posted after school. You know, the time that goes into editing and posting the videos means there's not a set time that this will be up each day. Sometimes it doesn't even go up till the next day, but usually it's up by late afternoon or early evening. But if we have covered new material, there will be a video for you to watch if you've missed class. Which means, yes, I will be often be videotaping in class. Not every day. I've been doing, like I said, I've been running the YouTube playlist for 4 years, and so sometimes we'll use, for the playlist, I'll use material recorded in previous years to give you some diversity and variety. But there will be times that I do videotape in your class while you're right there. So something that you need to know for your own privacy and protection is that any videos featuring students, especially students under the age of 18, so if I happen to have a group of all seniors who are 18, this might not apply, but videos featuring students under the age of 18 will only be shared with students, and for your privacy and protection, they will be unlisted on YouTube. And that means for someone to access the video, they need to have the specific, very long and complicated YouTube link. That's not going to show up as a search result. Some guy, some 50-year-old guy living in his mom's basement typing in Florida high school girls into YouTube is not going to get your video. So that is for your privacy and protection. What else do you need to know to be successful in this class? Well, you want to make it a goal to be here every class, and when you're not able to be here, then you want to check out the video. But the discussions that we have together as a class in this course are really central to what we do. As the most important part of this class. So I do take attendance pretty seriously. If I'm not a jerk about it, if it's time that's been devoted to work and you're caught up with your work and you have other things you need to do, I don't have a problem sending you to do them. But when we're covering new material and we're having in-class discussions, it's really important for you to be here. I don't waste your time. I don't do busy work. I don't do, I don't push a bunch of worksheets on you just to kill time and have you be busy for the sake of being busy. That's, I respect you too much to do that. So when I do plan something in class, there's a point to it. Now, I should warn you, the point's not always going to be obvious. And so I would encourage you to be patient in this course. Many of the concepts that we discuss and the way we approach things is going to be very different from anything you've encountered before. And there will be times where you're going to be given a task, something to think about, and I'm going to say very little about the specifics. If you're used to having step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, very detailed, telling you exactly what to do to complete an assignment, you might struggle a little bit at first in this course, and that's okay. So I encourage you to be patient. Often the reason that we're doing something won't be revealed until after we've done it. That way you can look back and say, once you've been introduced to some new concept, and say, oh, that's the thing I just did, and now I get it. I have found that works. That's worked quite well. So be patient. Reach out if you're struggling. People who raise their hand and ask for clarification or ask for help in my class, those are the people that get A's in the class for sure. But I do urge you to be patient with me, with the work in the class, and with the other students in the class. This is an elective course. It's not a freshman or sophomore or junior or senior level course. It's just a course. It's for everybody. Fact on the ground is that it is usually a majority freshman population in the class, even though it's not specifically a freshman class. The reason for this, the short version of the reason for that, is that there's not a required 9th grade social studies class, so 9th graders, more than anyone else, have room in their schedule for this. But I've had people from all 4 grades each year. They're welcome. And, an 18-year-old senior and a freshman on day 1 who, might even still be 12, but let's say 13, you're in 2 very different places in your lives, and which means you bring 2 very different perspectives to anything that we're going to discuss. And I ask you to show that sort of patience and grace for each other. Upperclassmen in the course, sometimes they make the mistake after 2 or 3 days and saying, I'm around a lot of freshmen. They get frustrated. They want to be with with their friends, or they've misunderstood why they're in the class. They think they've been given a freshman class. Please don't overreact and bail if you're a junior or senior and you're sitting next to a bunch of freshmen. You've got the opportunity to really take some initiative and show some leadership in this course, and that gives me the opportunity, as you're applying for colleges, to have something to say in your letter of recommendation about the leadership and initiative and that you've taken. So please don't run off and bail if you're an upperclassman. Don't be spooked by all these freshmen. Keep a. I originally put this slide in there when the COVID pandemic was full swing and we weren't. Most people weren't meeting in person, but it's something that's true and something that remains important no matter what the circumstances on the ground are. Is keep an eye on your own emotional wellness, your own well-being, and on what's going on in your life. And if you're struggling with something, reach out. This is day one. Perhaps maybe I'm not the guy you want to reach out to. That's okay. You don't owe me that. But find someone that you can confide in. And if you don't have someone you can confide in, then come talk to me. If only to say, even if you got to say, hey, I don't like you and I don't want to talk to you, but I need to talk to somebody, and we'll help you find somebody that doesn't suck as much as I do. Something's really important. In fact, I'm going to put the slide on the screen for this. Really important. I respect your privacy. We are human beings first, teacher and student second. And your personal life is none of my business. Your story is your own. All right? You are in charge of your story and who you share your story with. But if there are things going on in your life, it could be your health, family issues, relationships, economic issues, all sorts of things, and they're impacting your work. They're impacting your ability to function. And you need special accommodations. Even though it's your story, and you have the right to choose not to share it with me, I can only accommodate you. I can only help you with things that I know about. People have found I'm very reasonable when people are struggling and they share it with me. But if I don't know about what's going on, then I can't help you. So you've got to weigh how to balance your privacy versus any need for special accommodation. But if you reach out to me, I will do absolutely everything in my power to make this a great experience for you. I can't promise you that this is going to be your favorite class or that you'll even like it. I can tell you that it is, over the last 4 years, it has frequently been the favorite class of many of the students who have taken it. So come in with a positive attitude and let me know what I can do to make this a great year, a great experience for you. There's always a small, and it's a tiny minority so far. There's always a small handful of people, and I can tell they hate every second of this class. They hate me. They look at me and they look all around. We're not in my classroom in this video, but my classroom walls are covered with pictures students have drawn for me, and I can tell that I get along well with a lot of the students, and they're like, I have no idea why these people like this guy. This guy is such a jerk. And the reason that tiny minority has had a negative experience with me and hates me, it's because I guess they just never figured out that there's only one or two buttons you can push on me. If we're having a classroom discussion, don't be playing on your phone. If we're having a classroom discussion, don't be putting your head down. If we're having a classroom discussion, don't have music playing in your earphones. That just makes sense. We're having a discussion together. I won't waste your time, which means if we're having a discussion together, there's a reason for it. And if we're having a discussion together, it's something I've put in hours and even literally at this point years of time preparing for. So be part of it. And really the only other way to cross me, because I'm not strict. I'm really not super strict about a lot of stuff, but this one, all written work must be your own. Do not plagiarize. Always cite your sources and use quotation marks if repeating information word for word. I'm not super strict about a lot of stuff, but I am merciless about plagiarism. I suppose it's inevitable. There are always going to be students who will test me on this. In fact, I'm not going to tell you which, but I can predict exactly which assignment will be the first time many students will try to test me on the plagiarism thing. My response to plagiarism is always the same. A 0 that cannot be made up, and a disciplinary referral, which means your parents or guardians get notified, and the dean of students gets notified, and the dean determines what disciplinary action needs to be taken. Plagiarism is like the one thing I'm mega strict about, because it's an awful habit to get into. It's dishonest, and it's come back to the I don't waste your time. It's a waste of your time. All the time you spend plagiarizing, yeah, it may be less time than you would have spent working on it, but the time you spend plagiarizing is time you get no return on your investment. It's a waste of your time. So please don't do that. I'm not saying that no one's ever gotten away with it. I'm human. I'm not perfect. And look, I surely some slip through the cracks. But when I catch it, please hear this. Please hear this. I have never given a student a break on plagiarism, and you will not be the first. It's just that simple. I hate for our first conversation to have threats and all that involved in it, but you have the right to know who and what you're dealing with. I'm going to end this video in like a minute. What else do I want to say? I strongly suggest that you take notes when we're having lectures or conversations. When there are PowerPoint presentations, I almost always make those available ahead of time on Schoology. It being July when I'm filming this, the current year Schoology classes aren't set up yet, and so just if you miss the first day of class, once you're here, come talk to me, and I'll walk you through exactly how Schoology is organized in my class and how we use it. We'll start the year without assigned seats. Hopefully we won't have to change that, but I do reserve the right to assign seats later if necessary. I think I've done it in 3 periods ever. I've had assigned seats, so usually it's not required, but if we've got if that's something that will help us to focus, I will do that. Stuff. You got to go to the bathroom. You got to go to the bathroom. I don't care. Use eHall. We started using eHall Pass last year, assuming that's still the thing. I do use eHall Pass. And if you're asking to go visit another teacher, if it's during a class discussion, the answer is almost certainly going to be no. If it's during more as open work time, I'm a lot more flexible about that. We will use eHall Pass. As far as you coming to my class from another class, believe it or not, some people do enjoy coming here. Some of you will think they are crazy for that. My policy is basically anyone who has ever been my student is always welcome in my classroom. as far as I'm concerned. Of course, you need to have permission of your current teacher, but I just put that in eHall Pass, and getting that permission will be that'll be on you. I will trust you on that one. Okay, I'm sure this video has been his first day of school stuff, so I'm sure this video has been profoundly uninteresting. It gets less uninteresting. In fact, it gets a lot less uninteresting at the very beginning of Class 2. So I'll talk to you then.
Around a lot a bit, trying to make the pieces fit to a puzzle with a million missing pieces. When I'm feeling fine is when I discover that I'm afraid to blow my cover, and there's something very wrong with this. So sit back in your hole, or get back in your cave. If I'm going down, I'm taking someone with